One of the things that I get the honor and pleasure of doing is reviewing all of your comments. Yes, I don't have a team, no VAs, none of that. But what I see all the time when we talk to the three amigos is 90% of you, might be 95% of you,
Mhm.
want to be Dion. You have no
Yes.
interest in being Matt or I, which is a little offensive, but believe me, I get it. So we're going to talk about the cost of being lazy. Dion, why don't you set this up for folks? When people come to you, they follow you, they say, I want to be Dion. It's because they want to be lazy.
Mhm.
So first, I think people definitely want to emulate the way you dress, not the way I dress. So they don't want to be me, they want to be you. And they want Matt's donkey choking cash flow, right? That's the thing that comes up. There's the t-shirt coming for it and everything. So the cost of being lazy. I grew a portfolio over a decade buying from the MLS with conventional loans. Never did a rehab. I had never replaced cabinets or done countertops. I had done flooring and paint and some simple things, but these were rent ready or occupied properties was my goal. When I retired in 22, I did my first and last BRRRR. I created, no kidding, poof, out of thin air, over $300,000 in less than a year. Plus, I now have a cash flowing asset, and I'm never going to do it again. This is not for me. I don't like it. The cost of doing lazy is I will not make $300,000 out of thin air in the future again because I'm so lazy. So the idea
No,
is,
no, no, hold on. Time out, time out. No, freaking stop it. I
See,
want to
that's
make
what
sure,
happened. Yes.
I heard this correct.
Yes, exactly.
So as I remember the story, there was a duplex that was a fixer listed for 500.
Mhm.
You wrote and followed up 3, 4, 5, whatever times at a number of 400. The seller eventually agreed. Do I have the story right so far?
correct.
How much time did that take you?
To
60
buy it.
minutes? No, to write the offer, to follow up. Are we talking
Okay.
a
So
cumulative of
that's
2
not the
hours?
lazy. The lazy is
I'm
the
not done yet. How much time did it take?
Yeah.
probably less than 5 minutes because it was a few texts to the agent who did all the work.
Okay, I'm just going to try to accumulate this time,
Mhm.
Dion's time, and then the punchline is 300 grand. So far, folks, we have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you close it. You pay cash, so you don't have a loan. You don't have appraisals. You don't got any of this stuff. You now own it. So at this point, you own the property. You have got the keys. You're through the closing table. How much time have you spent up to that minute? The minute you own it, are we talking a couple
Maybe
of hours?
maybe an hour. Yeah, because I mean, closing when you pay cash is 5 sheets of paper.
Yeah, it's five
Yes.
Not
sheets.
even
I
it's
love
not
it.
even a 30-minute signing process,
No,
right?
it's
No.
3.
Yeah. So okay. So now you own the property. You now are walking the units probably again. You probably have multiple bids, multiple people coming in. You probably are creating a plan like fix this one first, this one second. I'm going to live here, fix this one. I remember at some point you found a basement or something that you thought might be a third unit turned into be a no. But at
Mhm.
some point, Dion selects a contractor or several subs, maybe you're GCing this yourself, and they start doing work. It's not like you gutted the place, you painted the place, you laid the floor, you did this, you did. Am I wrong?
Lazy.
I tiled a shower with Frank, old guy REI, to learn
Okay.
how to do it, and I painted the exterior.
Really?
I
You?
got video proof on the ladder of me next to the creepy doll in the attic. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Uh, so I'm all in probably 2 weeks of my time personally on
So
this place.
when you say 2 weeks, you mean 80
Like
hours.
aggregate 80 hours over a
Okay.
10-month period.
So you are into a property 80 hours
Mhm.
and you made 300 grand. I just want to do the math.
And I will never do this again on purpose.
I just want people to
It's
realize
it's
how
probably more than that with like phone calls and follow-ups and pickup of material. Like I think he's probably 80 hours. I think he's probably 80 hours. Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
you
Uh-huh.
made
Yeah.
$3,750 an hour.
Yep.
And what you're saying is no, thank you.
So
Yep.
when you don't have enough, money is the only thing. And once you have enough, it's just a thing. And my time is worth way more than $3,750 an hour.
I will tell you folks, my time is not worth three.
It's
I
agreed.
had,
I concur. Yeah, I
if I can
concur.
make 3,750 bucks an hour,
Yeah.
I will do that thing.
Deanna, you
Especially,
dying and you just haven't told us. Like,
especially if I get to pick the time. It's not
yes.
like
Yes.
he had to show up
Yes.
at 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. right? If you
Yes.
told me I only could make that $3,750 from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m., no thanks. I'm
Right.
not a night owl because I have that
Right.
option. But if I get to pick a couple of hours a week to make almost $4,000 an hour, I am
Yes.
doing that every single time.
So this is where lazy, this is the cost of being lazy.
Yes, it's the cost of
Okay.
being lazy. Exactly.
Matt asked if I'm dying over a long enough timeline, the life expectancy for everyone drops to 0. So eventually.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
But
I get
Matt,
it.
explain to me
Yes.
the cost of lazy to you and how I've probably cost you $150,000.
You absolutely cost me $150,000 because I had to prove you wrong.
Oh, shoot. Oh my
Still waiting.
goodness.
So,
Wow.
and I said, okay, what's the exact opposite of what Dion would do here? I'm anti Costanza right now. Everything that I would normally do, or doing Dion would do, I'm doing
Throwing
the
it out the
exact
window.
opposite. Exact
Yeah.
opposite. I only use all of his calculating to understand what the exact opposite of that would be. And so
Right.
the exact opposite would be buy something from a wholesaler, not from MLS. Check.
Okay.
Started there. First thing. Second thing was I'm going to GC the entire project myself, but to keep it real and fair, I'm not going to do any work there.
So you're not tiling a shower. You're
I'm not
painting
doing
outside.
anything. I'm doing absolutely nothing. So
Perfect.
Dion painted, Dion tiled. He's going to have far more work into his than I will have into mine.
Yeah.
So I will not do any work whatsoever. So it's truly only GC managing and getting bids. And I'm doing it all the same way that I teach. I'm getting 3 bids for everything. I built out my budget. I built out a project plan. I pulled permits, all of that stuff. Because I think too often people don't understand not only the cost of lazy, right? Which is Dion does an amazing job articulating the value of lazy. He does an amazing job articulating the value of lazy. But what I really want people to understand is the cost of lazy. And that is to say, it could just be fear over doing a project like this because they've never pulled a permit before. It could just be fear over meeting 3 different contractors and actually saying no to 2 of them. It could just be fear of not understanding what are the valuable projects to do. It could just be fear over what products am I going to pick for this. So I'm coming from a place where there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, where there's a lot of mystery, and I'm debunking it all. We're going to go through and we're debunking it all. So I showed them on camera meeting with contractors. I showed them on camera, here's what the projects are going to be. I show them on camera, here's exactly what the budget is, and we update it every single week. Here's what we budgeted, here's what we're going to spend, and here's the notes. I'm going to show them, I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm going to screw something up. I don't know what it is yet, but it will come because that's a rehab. And so that's the only thing that HGTV gets right is that there's always an issue. It's just not 7 minutes into this to the show.
Yeah.
But that's it. It was just doing exactly what Dion does to try and teach people the another way so that you have all of the data to make the decision. Because I think too often people pick lazy, get this, because it's easier, but they don't truly know the cost to it. So I just want to put out there what the cost is to
Yeah, I got to tell you, Dion, this is hurting my head.
it.
You're turning down, $4,000 an hour. The reason I like real estate investing is because once you've invested the time, energy, and discipline into learning the skill, you don't unlearn it.
Right.
Right. So you could always do, you could do this once every other year. And yes, this money means nothing to you at this point, doesn't change your life. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But what could you do outside of you with an extra $300,000? Do you have a mission or an education it's just, I don't know, folks. I just got to ask the audience right now. Would you turn down $4,000 an hour? Yes, I'm rounding up because I'm so pissed off right now. $4,000 an hour, 80 hours over a year. Shoot, 80 hours over 2 years. Would you turn that down? I know I wouldn't. But
So,
Dion,
Matt, how many years did you stay at your company to facilitate the sale to protect the employees that you were there with?
Sure. So I knew that I wanted to leave probably a couple years earlier.
yeah, probably. Yeah.
I could have stayed. I had $2 million in golden handcuffs. I walked away from that. Didn't bat an eye. I could have spent the entire winter of 2023 to 2024 in Thailand, scuba diving in 78-degree weather.
Mhm.
But instead, I was GCing a project that made a few $100,000 that just didn't exist last year and does now. Now, when we start out with the lazy, there's no way in my first 5 years of investing that I could have identified a deal that needed the amount of work that this did that would have created the value that it had. So I would never have started with this.
Agreed.
And I'm
Totally
only
agree.
doing this. Like Zuber said, I learned the skill. And now I know the numbers. I know what the ARV would be. I know how much it's going to cost to do all of these things. And I padded it significantly.
Mhm.
I knew the investment was there. I had the cash to do it. So there was no hard money timeline. There was no financing contingency for me to make this happen. So there was reasons why I did this and could do it. I did this for time freedom. I didn't do this to, it's becoming my favorite phrase. When you've won the game, stop playing. I have won the game. I can go out to the Monopoly board. I own all the properties that I'm of the people that I'm playing with. Every time they go around the board, they're paying me every time they stop. I could own more of the board somehow, but don't need to.
Mhm.
And that's why this is the cost of being lazy. Now, if your goal is growth, right? Growers
Oh,
versus
yeah.
goers, right? If you're in growth mode, it would be dumb to not go for something like this, a successful bird that you could self-finance, that you had the skill set to do. Absolutely.
Hmm.
I just don't want it. I'd rather have an entire winter of scuba diving in some beautiful
Yeah.
place with beautiful people.
So let's ask the audience, because I get it, Dion. You know, and I'm playing it up for the camera, if you will. But let's ask the audience. Let's assume you're like Dion and you have won the game, whatever that is for you. And you have a chance to spend 60 days, 90 days in your thing of choice. Maybe it's Thailand, wherever it is. Or you could make $300,000 by working 80 hours. Which one would you do? You've already won the game. You've already won the game. Money's not the
Let's define
problem.
that with you work 2 hours a month
Okay.
and you make last year $234,000 for 2 hours a month.
Already.
Then profit. That's your profit that you've got.
Yeah.
For not
You're
having to
good.
do
Money's
anything,
good.
not managing deals, not talking to subcontractors, not getting permits, nothing
So
like
this
that.
80 hours is extra.
So
Totally
you've
get it.
won the game. Now does the $300,000 that
Yeah.
has no change to your life. Maybe you could pursue your mission more, right?
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know, folks. I want to hear from the audience below because again, Dion is an amazing teacher. We all know that. I never thought I could believe anybody would make this choice, but as always, he's made me come around at least a little bit. I can see around the corner now. I'm not making that trade.
Matt
but
can't.
at
That's
least-
why he's losing $150,000 to make.
Exactly right. Exactly right. I'm going to spend that money to figure out if this works. And hey, if I can take 1,000 or 2,000 people along so they can get over their fear of
Yeah.
getting quotes and seeing this.
Well, see, that's the difference. See,
Go ahead.
that's why I love us.
Yeah.
You're doing this because you like to poke at your buddy, right? This is a
course.
game that we all three play.
Uh-huh.
But really what you're doing is you're trying to help people in the first 5 years, to Dion's earlier point,
Yes.
who are nervous,
Yeah.
who
Sure.
couldn't identify the 300 grand. You're trying to document that, remove the roadblock so you can have 3, 4, 5 other people get their 300 grand that
Sure.
they haven't won the game yet. So that's why you're doing it. And of course, it's fun to pick on your brother.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
yeah.
I even text him. I was like, hey, we got to talk about this. He's like, I'm never effing doing it again. And I was like, we still got to
You know,
talk about
I'll bet $1.
Uh-oh.
So certainly he's not doing it in the next couple of years. Agreed. But I suspect memories are short. And there will be a time before 2028 where Dion does another one of these. It's just too easy. And again, it took him 80 hours this time. I bet next time he could GC it from Thailand. Did he really have to be there? Did he really have to paint it? Did he really have to tile that shower? No, he didn't. So I'm going to guess, again, we have short-term memories. He's not touching this. But a couple of years from now, the bad stuff will go away. That $300,000 is going to turn into $450,000. He's going to buy another crazy-ass truck or some silly thing. And he's going to be like, oh, man, I should do that again. Dion, closing thoughts.
The theory that eventually I won't remember how much I didn't like it is the reason why women can have more than one kid.
Yeah.
So you have a point, because imagine in the moment when you're having a kid, you think, I'm never doing this again. But then somehow Matt's talked his wife into several kids, right? And I don't get it. Who knows what's going to happen?
Says the guy with 3.
Right. Right.
Just do a little bit more. That's all. She was
Just one more
around
time.
longer. She was around longer.
Mine weren't all from the same person, but probably not even from the same dad. Who knows? Ouch, too close to home.
Too close to home.
I have no idea what will happen in 5 or 10 years. I'm with
Yeah.
you, Zuber. You absolutely have a point there. And I'm thinking, okay, July next year, I'll come up on the 2 years owner occupied IRS 121 rule. I might dump this place, take $700,000 or $800,000, right? Go buy something that's done. Finish. Just move in. We'll see.
I won't allow it.
Yeah.
I'll fly out there. Be like, no, it's too done.
Take the pen away.
Yeah. But I mean, again, it was so I thought it to be cheap, 150 grand to poke fun at Dion. And more importantly, just teach people. Cause I think far too often people are scared to make that jump. And if they see me out there every single day or every other day or every 2 or 3 days, just, hey, here's a half hour. Here's what I did here today.
Yeah.
That's simple. And then if you need a GC to do it, that's fine. But you at least now know what the GC is encountering.
Right.
That general contractor, you're at least knowing what they're encountering so you can guide them and understand what they're doing in the process.
Guys, you're amazing. Dion, love you like a brother. Matt, you as well. Guys, take care. The 3 amigos. We will see you in Vegas.
Yes.
February 15th and 16th. Both of these guys will be speaking at different times. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.